Hello everyone, my name is Dominic and welcome to another video from S01-Visual. In this video, I'm going to take you through the process of developing the foundation layout and details as part of construction documentation for this residential project. I thought it will be helpful to share the entire process with you. I previously shared a video on how to develop a 3D design for this house. You can check it out by clicking the link in the top right corner or in the description below. We've just obtained the building permit for the house from the local authority, so we'll be moving to site soon. I have been tasked with preparing a full set of construction drawings. Buckle up, this is going to be an exciting and fun process packed with value. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share the video. To get started with the foundation layout and details of this project, we're going to also, coordinate with the structural engineering drawings because unfortunately we don't have the 3D model for that. It's only the PDFs drawings that are going to be a handful for this process. So currently I'm on the ground floor plan, which is going to be the base of our foundation layout. So I'm going to go to the navigator here. I'm going to stretch and increase the size of my project browser like that. I've been working on the detailed design views for purposes of obtaining the building permit. Now we're going to migrate from this folder and focus on the construction document section. So here I'm going to open the enlarged floor plans and go to the substructure, which is our foundation view. So currently there is nothing here, but there's a basic foundation I created when I was doing or creating drawings for council submission. So if you go back to the detailed design views, we have, let me open the substructure. So we have this basic foundation layout that I just created for the sake of sharing with the engineer and submitting to council. So I'm going to develop this further because it's not as per engineers or it's not exact as engineers drawings. So to achieve this, to start with, I'm going to switch off the layer because this layer is under structural foundations, right? So if let's go back to our construction documents. This is the latest MS BIM 2025 ArchiCAD template. So check the link on the description to download this template. It is a very good template, extremely good, to speed up the workflow and create amazing results in terms of your project delivery. So let's go back to our substructure, which is our foundation. I'm going to Control L to bring my layer settings. While we're still in the layer settings, I'm gonna activate the enlarged floor plan. This is basically for the construction documents layer combination. So I'm going to search the structural foundation layer, which is this one, and make sure it's active in this layer. Let's update and apply. Okay. Perfect. Now we have our base as the footing design. So I'm going to bring in the structural drawing, our structural engineering drawing. So I'm going to go to the folder and drag down or drag and drop the drawing here. I'm gonna put it somewhere there. Let's scale it up. I'm going to use one of the dimensions here to scale this up. Control K to scale and hit OK from this window, then pick it from here and then specify the second point there. This should be 4230. Hit enter. Perfect. It's almost the size of this. It should be the same size, relatively the same size, depending on the engineering. Oh, he was using 1:75 scale, but I don't think there's much of a difference, which is fine. Yes, now I need to revise my layout or my design or the foundation for this project. accordingly to adhere with the engineering drawings. Okay, we have typical details here for each section. If you look at section 1, let's find section 1. Section 1 is this one, so that means we have how many sections? Once it goes around, this is section 1 as well. Then we have this section 2 that are footings, concrete footings that are inside. Then we have section 3.3. Let's find where section 3.3 is, which is here by the garage ramp. Okay, so this means this is the ramp for the garage. All right, it makes sense. Okay, and then we have section 4. Section 4 detailed. Let's identify section 4 where it is. Okay, it's here because sorry, because we have a slab here. So if you go to the plan, you'd see what I'm talking about. Let me open this fitting window. Yeah, section 4 cuts across somewhere here because we have the slab that will be the entertainment and pool area. So yeah, it makes sense to have a different detail in this area. Okay, so from here now we need to transfer this information and update our model, which is key. In other case, you will have the engineer will supply you with the AFC or a 3D model that you'll embed into your model, then you can readjust like that. But doesn't matter, we have the PDFs here, we can easily also implement it in that manner, no problem. So I'm going to start with detail or section 1 and produce this. So if you look at the size, so the depth of the footing from the floor slab level or from the floor finish level is 1 meter. So that's the first thing that I need to do. But before I do that, I'm going to select, well, let me just select one of these. I've created this using a profile. As you can see here, under the structure is footing. So I'm going to modify this footing by right clicking and edit the profile. So yes, edit the profile. I need to get it here as well. Okay, the best thing, I'm going to go back. You know what I can do? Sorry, I can convert this into a DWG by right clicking on it, then explode. Let's explode this to have access to lines and 2D information. That will make my life easier because I'll just, for example, I'm going to copy this. Let's delete the base image first. I know this will mess up my layers, but yeah, it's going to mess up my layers. If you go to your layer settings, you see now we have this 00 pen layers. We can later on delete the layers if we want, but in this case it doesn't matter much. You see we have many of them here, the layers that are coming from the engineer's software. I think it's AutoCAD if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to select this detail, then Control C and copy. Let's copy this to our profile manager for the footing or for the foundation level. Let's go back to our footing window, another profile. I'm going to paste it here by just Control V in your keyboard. It takes a bit of time. I don't know why it's taking. I think it's the latest ArchiCAD does this more often. Copy pasting command seems to be heavy. I don't know why. I'm going to use the center of the current view to paste the elements like so, then drag it outside my foundation. Okay, from here I need to rescale this as well. Need to sorry about that. Wow. Okay, let's select the elements. Then I'm gonna zoom in here. I'm going to use one dimension, which is the 700. Control K to reference the 700. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, no, it's fine. I can just key in 700, right? So that it becomes exact measurement, so a true representation, accurate measurement, which is 700. Perfect. Once you are done with that, what you can do now is to copy all these elements, I thought this would be, because we have layers of information here, or layers of material. We have the backfill, which is yes, we have the backfill, we have this base material, then we have the concrete footing, the foundation wall, a lot, or tons of layers. So this is what we need to mimic. So what I can do now is to pick parameter of this by Alt holding your keyboard and click on this component to activate the fill tool. Let me collapse these ones here, the fill tool, and trace over this. I'm going to trace over the footing, then pick the material for the fill for the wall, and this should be up to the floor, and I'm gonna change the material for the fills. So I don't know how best can I represent this, because it has this different hatch patterns. This is an over excavate and recompacted in layers not exceeding 150. So I need to also mimic this. So to do that, let's go to, I'll find soil material. We're gonna go with this one. Well, I can easily create this material because the current soil or material for soil, it doesn't represent the compacted gravel. So the best way is to create the material to represent all these layers. So I'm going to I'm going to go to the options, elements, attributes, then building material. Then in this window, I'm going to create a new material. So if I can search for gravel, we have a gravel here. So let's duplicate this material and call it compacted. Is it ice purple? No, yes, compacted. Let me see. I'll say material. Let's just say compacted material. Then we have it here. Oh, sorry, where is it? Okay, because we are still under the search prompt, I'm going to cancel the search and locate our compacted material here. So we need to change this into because the way he represented it, it's more like the hatch. I know why he's doing that, because he wants to show different layers of compaction. So I'm going to change this to a field that will represent this, which is basically a brick or masonry block, and material will be soil. I mean the surface. Let me search for earth brown. Perfect. And then what else again? So I'm not gonna be worried about the intersection priority for now. I'll leave it at 130 strength. It's something that I can later change if I want, but for now let's leave it as it is now. And then the classification also matters. Under the classification, ArchiCAD classification, I'll leave it as terrain material, or maybe let's find for gravel, if you have a gravel material here, or soil, for example. We don't have soil, so I'll leave it as a terrain material. And then for master format, let's find something relatively close to gravel drainage layer, manufactured gravel stop facade, maybe say soil, let's say compacted, search compacted concrete, compacted, we don't have compacted gravel. Okay, let me see what I can. Gravel drainage layers. Let's leave it at gravel drainage layers for now. Double click to open it. Then under uniformat, also search for gravel. We don't have gravel. Let's search for compaction. Backfill compaction. Perfect. Alright, so once you're done with this, so I'm going to hit OK. Then let's change the fill type that is currently active to the newly created material, which is compacted material. Okay, so I'm going to trace over this by using a geometry method of a rectangle, like that. Just to have all the layers in place. Then the next material is the backfill, which is this one at the top of our compaction. So with this one, I'll have to create another material to represent this layer. So I'm gonna go back to the element attributes, building materials, and I'm going to just duplicate the one that I created earlier and call this, or name this backfill. Yeah, compacted backfill. Okay, so as to this one, the interoperability, for now I'll leave it. Maybe I'll just increase the strength to 200 a bit. Then let's see, he used this kind of hatch to represent the backfill. Let's find something relatively closer to that. In our case, we can use gravel. If we have a gravel fill, let's see, we do have gravel. Let's use gravel, and then the surface will be just earth. I think it's fine. So from here, the backfill and compose, yes, so the classifications are alright to keep it as it is. Then let's hit OK. Activate the fill, change this to backfill, and I'm going to draw all the way to there. Select that, subtract the polygon to, it has to be somewhere there, and then this side also. Let's see downstairs. Let's see, okay, it should be all the way to there. Then I'm gonna add a polygon to draw or to fill up the space here. Okay. Yes, so our concrete footing is underneath. Let's tab and right click to bring it to front, like so. Yes, you can decide to cut, or to subtract the polygon for the concrete as well. It doesn't really matter. Now, with the layers of compaction, what he did, he represented it as, let me show you. Oh, sorry. What he did, he represented the layers with the different direction of, or opposite direction of the, let me move it here so that you can see. You see the hatch is in opposite direction. which is something that we need to replicate in our fill here. I'm gonna start with this one. Okay, this one I'll leave it this way. So let's take this one. Then if you zoom in here, construction method. So there's no way we can access this construction method. I don't know why. Because it's not a fill. I see why. Because this is not a 2D fill like you would change. It's a building material fill. So what we need to do is to go to our fill types. Let's go to our fields under the attributes manager. So this one for common brick, let's duplicate it. I'm gonna duplicate it and then just leave this one as 1 and change the direction to, what is the opposite of 45? Is it 120? It's 18, right? No. Opposite of 45. 45 degrees. This is a rotation. If we rotate it this way, should be say 145. Okay, not bad. No, I think it's too steep. Maybe should be 120. No way. 130. Let's see. More or less the same, right? Okay, I'll keep it this way. I couldn't figure out. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this. I couldn't figure out the opposite of 130. So let's hit OK to apply the changes. So this one will be so I'll have to create a duplicate for this as well. Let's go back to the building materials. If at all you want to, have this impact, but in another case, I don't think it's necessary though. But it's very important for your graphics. So I'm going to duplicate this one and then call it 1. Then change the fill to, where do we have Monsory block 1? Is it common brick? Let me see. It's brick. Yes, I think it's common brick. This one will be also yeah, this will be common. Okay, here is common brick. This one will be common brick 1. This will be common brick 1, yes, so that we can have different angles. Right, so this I will change it to compaction material 1 and pick parameters of that, then also that. Okay, we try to mimic his style. One thing that we can also deal with is the size, right? But I think for now it's fine. Let's set also the contour pen to be just as, I don't think 0.15 or 13, which is 101 in the here. Perfect. Let's bring it back to our drawing. This one also, I'm gonna change it to 0.13 and make sure this, okay, so we have the apron also that we need to cater for, and then For the slab, I'm going to create a separate composite for this to capture that. So yeah, this will be there. Let's see here. Okay, it goes all the way there. Okay, what I'll do, I'll delete. Okay, before I transfer all this information here, let me create the apron. So I'll pick parameters of this one by Alt Control, then trace over. Convert this to an angle, and we have a concrete. Pick concrete. Place concrete here. We have a concrete. I'll change this to there. Then we have our capstone or cabbing. Okay, something like this. Transform this into a curve, and I don't know, we have this. I don't think this I will have to match up the profile of this. I'll just use one because it's made of concrete. I can just pick this concrete and then draw over, draw something like that. Yes, something like that, and make sure the material, I'll make sure this is not a structural concrete. Let's change it to shaven. These are bricks, right? Let's go for bricks. It's paving. It's paving, to be honest. Okay, then we have the paving level as well here, that it will have its own separate composite that I'll use a slab to place. But with this one, I just wanted to have it there, and we can now transfer this information to that side. One thing that is important again is this information. I don't know, it's better to have it, what you call this thick isolation joint. I don't know, it's better I have it on the profile, on the complex profile for the footing, or together with the composite. I think it makes sense to have it here because on the if I had to create a slab composite for this, it won't be ideal. So I'm gonna pick parameters of that and place it like so. Change this to insulation or thermal break, but this is mostly meant for waterproofing, so let's just use this one. Okay, yes, it will have that one there. And once we are done, I'm gonna select, oh, this is not grouped. I'm going to activate my queue this, so that I can activate the fill and select all these elements from there. I'm gonna move it right there. I'm going to get rid of this one, measure and make sure everything is fine. 700, yes. Let me clean up all this. What's this? I'm gonna clean up all this, clean up all that, clean up all this. The nice part of having such details in your project, you can save for future project as well. Save it as preset. So this one I'll have to right click and display to front so that I can fix on that. And what else again? I'll have to have this. Yeah, you might decide to have this in a lighter pen weight, but it's brick. Let me just leave it heavy like that. So what else again should I, okay, it's the hotspots. Make sure the hotspots are accurately positioned. Is this 230? Yes. I'm gonna have another hotspot here and there. Another one at least there. Yeah. Maybe also to define the space as well. Let's save. Okay. So if you go back to our foundation, this information will be transferred to all this. But if you look at the engineer's drawing, it's only applicable to the external foundation wall. Yes, I think it goes all the way like that. This one is a separate detail, number 3. So I will have to create another one. Let's start with then. I'm gonna move on to 2, but before we'll have to make sure this is the correct way of representation. Let me select one of the sections. Do I have a section here? Okay, let me open this one. Okay, I have a section already open. I can just open it from there. Yeah, you see, you need to make sure everything is in place. So I need to mirror it. But don't worry with these ones because we are yet to create a separate detail for the internal foundation walls. So I'm going to go to edit this, select everything, Control M to mirror. I'm going to mirror it. Where is mirror? Yeah. Mirror like that, then save. So this should fix the problem. Yeah, zoom in to see if everything is fine. Okay, it looks super. It looks great. So the natural ground was 300. The height, the floor finish was 300. I don't know why he's because this looks like it's beyond 300. It's another thing that we should look at as well. So if we go back to his detail and see if the ground level, because from here is 215, the height for is 215 from the floor finish. So let's see if the floor finish is this. Let me check as well in this section. This is 300, so it shouldn't be that high. So my floor finish is okay. Oh, here the floor finish is minus 100. Should be minus 100. This should go up by 315. there's a little bit of something to do here, so this needs to move. Okay, I'm gonna draw, oh sorry about that, I'm gonna draw a line of 215 from there, and then see what distance should I move it up, which is going to be 110. So if we go back, I'll have to move this up by 110. And save. If you go back to our section, this should resolve the issue. Perfect. Now we're having our paving sitting at the correct level, especially on this side. So yeah, especially on this side. Okay, so one thing that I need to check is the joints. I'm gonna go to view, then change the, or unactivate the true line so that I can see the joints that are, this is at 100, so we're having a gap of, this is a gap of 11, so I need to increase the height of the foundation wall to 11, or by 11. Does that make sense, or should I do it from the walls? Let me go back to the foundation level, and I'm gonna cut this section on 3D. F5. This is the garage side. This is the paving, the apron. Let's see if the apron, yeah, this is the apron. I think it's sitting on the correct but this is the gap that I wanted to address. You see there's a bit gap that we can easily fix it from just dropping our, let me see down here, even here is also occurring. Maybe I can just fix it by going to the floor plans. Where are we? Going to the ground, sorry, and select all the wall, drop it down by minus, or drop down by 11. I'm gonna select all of this, then say minus 11. This should automatically fix the gap. Oh, what happened? Okay, I'm gonna undo this. I don't know what happened. So let me see this wall. This one says, so it's going to be minus 111. I think there are other walls that aren't supposed to be selected here, like this one. I'm going to unactivate the suspend group so that I can deselect these ones, remove these ones. Oh, okay. And take out okay, so it has to be minus 111. So if I go back to my 3D, this gap should be, yes, it's now updated or fixed. So even on the side of the garage, it's fixed. So I can right click and hide the layer for our mesh so that you can see this nicely. Okay, so we have our foundation in place with its own, with its compaction material. All right, it looks pretty good for our foundation, especially on this side. So let's go back to our substructure view and continue to do other details. Well, I think this is messing up our, it's messing up our plan view. So we can address the situation maybe by, selecting this and go to floor plan and section. Instead of saying show under the section of show projection we're saying entire element, but we want to see the floor plan range, right? So that doesn't fix the problem. Maybe let's say projected without overhead. Oh, still doesn't. Maybe cut only. It doesn't show. Outlines only. No way. We need to fix this issue. If you say overhead, it doesn't solve. I think it should be a cut only. Cut only, and with this level, we're not cutting. Unsuspend group and select this individually. If you say cut only and home store only, it doesn't show, or it doesn't fix the problem. Unless we are forced now to get rid of this and do it in a separate layer, which I didn't want to do it that way, because that will take more time for us to do that. So it's going to affect our progress. Unless I create a separate file or element for our apron. Okay, now I'll have to create an apron separately. So let me duplicate this, and I would say apron. Yes, let me say apron. I hit OK, and then within apron, I'm gonna get rid of. Let's get rid of the footing as well. Footing material. Then this should be here on the origin point. Okay, I don't know why these are not aligned. Get rid of the extra hotspots, then save. Okay, this will be our apron detail. Then let's go back to the footing. Going to delete the apron. Yeah, that's like this. This needs to be deleted as well, because there are fields there that will interfere with our elements. So save. If you go back to our plan, this is what we'll get. I'm gonna fix this to be projected and overhang. Sure, perfect. So if we check on our section, you will have that without having our apron. Okay, so that will give us an opportunity to, let's see, yes, our apron is going to sit here, then here there will be layers of our compaction for the slab. So if you look at the slab on if you say layers of slab, so let's create a composite for our slab. To fix this, I'm gonna go to attributes and slab, flow slab. Yeah, I'm gonna duplicate this one and reuse this. So okay, we have already slab. Yeah, okay, let's duplicate this one. Slab on grade. Compacted materials. Okay, so if you look at our detail, let me hit OK and then put the detail aside. And let's bring back our composite, right? Okay, so we have a 250. Sorry, I wanted to get the measurements right. I wanted to get the measurement. We have a layer. This layer is how much? I need to make sure the layers as well. We have 150 of G5 quality compaction. So I need to create this material before I do that. But we can create the structure first and then create the material later. So all are 150. Is it 150? We have 3 150s, and then the floor slab is where is the height of the slab? Mesh ref Montana. And see, this is 230. Is it 230? Are you sure? Okay. I can confirm from this rescaled. This is the size of the slab, 125. Okay, 150s, 3 150s and one. Sorry, what did I say again? Is it 195? 125, sorry. Yeah, 125 for our floor slab. So I'm gonna go back to and bring back our composite. So the floor slab is going to be 125, right? And we'll have the membrane is fine. Then we're gonna have gravel. Let's remove this one. We're gonna have a gravel of 150. We have another one. I'm gonna insert 3 skins, right? Yes, of 150s. So just like the bottom material, the compacted material of we just created, we're gonna use the same thing. Go for compacted G5. Well, I should say G5 because they are Let me go back to our building materials. Let me hit OK to apply the changes and go back to our building materials, and I'm going to duplicate this material, say G5, compacted. Okay, so I'm going to increase a little bit strength to 250 just to differentiate it from the other materials, the other compacted materials, and then hit OK. So if we go back to our element attributes to bring back the composite and assign this to G5, and if you still want to achieve the same, opposite direction of our hedge, we'll have to create 3 or maybe 2. So this will be compacted material, compacted material. So what I meant is that if you go back to building materials, we need to create 2 of this. Let me duplicate and then we'll have 1. The material for this is going to be gravel. Is fine. Okay, let me see. He's used this similar hedge as well that I need to incorporate as well. I don't know, I'm not sure about that, but let me say brick. This will be brick 1, and this will be common brick 0, just for the hedge, not necessarily representing the brick. It's just a feel that we want to use. Okay, so that means the slab on these regions, I'll start with this region. So let me apply a slab there. I'm gonna go up to the ground. So we're not going to have this kind of floor or slab that is applied on the footprint of the building. We're going to do it portion by portion, to represent this material. We want to get it accurate. So I'm gonna pick the parameters of this, then I can delete that, hit W to provide this. I'm going to change the composite to this one, then place it on the space. Okay, so if you had to open this section, so you'll have to have a series of sections that will help you to get this accurately. So we're having, this is our slab, right? The floor finish, it has to be at top of the foot of the slab should be at 0, right? Should be at the 0. So I'm gonna move it right, not what you call the, okay, I think I could have just used this one, right? Then yes, let's use this one, then set this to 0. It will adjust accordingly. Okay, so I see, because we have that, it has to go all the way. That's to the floor finish. I need to confirm that depth is 1.2. It should be 1. A meter from there to there, not 1.1. So this also needs to be minus 0 0. Let me do it on all the elements. So I'm gonna pick all these guys, then set them to minus 1000 instead of that, because it has to be accurately positioned. Let's see, this is minus 100. So from there to 1.2. There's a bit of a problem here. The positioning, this should be here. You know what's important is the reference line, the origin point is the one that references the height, I mean the position. So if we go back to our footing, this is the reference we are using. We could have you know, I think it would be easier we use this point at the top of our footing, so that it can be the one that references the height, you know, the depth. According to the structural engineer drawings, let me save this. Let me see, where is it? The depth is meter. Okay, there's excavation depth as well, and then there's 7075 or 775, which is top of apron, and then from footing, from concrete footing to floor finish is 1000. That's what he said, but this is what I'm trying to. So if I had to select this and make it substructure, maybe make it 0, because I've referenced it with origin point. It doesn't change. I don't know what's the problem here. The origin point, ground. Yeah, something like that. And then we're no longer having our walls going all the way minus 111, which is yeah, this, yes, it's fine. So let's go back to our ground and select all the walls. Make sure you deselect. I think I need to deselect unnecessary. This one is not part of it, so I'm gonna make it 0. I'm gonna make everything to sit at 0. If you open our section now, everything is cleanly connected. Yes, we have our compaction, or the joint, and then we have the waterproofing, which is perfect. Then the layers of our compaction. Okay, this can be, because we have an extra line that we don't need here, but this can be controlled by subtracting that using solid element operation. This will be the operator, and then our mesh will be the target. I'm going to use subtract with upward extrusion just to eliminate that line. Execute. All right, so that line disappeared. Okay, so we didn't take care of the line weights or the pen sets for our composite, for the floor slab composite. So let's edit that. So I would want to have my concrete, the one that is thicker. So everything here should be at 142. 142. This should be 142. Yeah, something like that. I don't know how thick is 142. 0.13 is fine. Hit OK. Yes, now everything is neatly represented. Okay, so we still have these arrows showing because they are fields. So like I said, we need to make sure everything can come here. If I select all, you see we have arrows there. Let's select this, send this to back. You have to understand that complex profile works with fields. So if we have a field there, that's the save. I hope I've deleted all. Let's just make sure all the fields. Okay, this should, clear up that. Perfect. All right, I may drop this dimension down below. Okay, so we have our footing in place. We have the concrete. I don't know why it doesn't show really a real hedge for the concrete. Let's go back and right click and edit. This should be reinforced structural. I don't know what's going on here. It should be the same concrete with this one. This one is what? Concrete structural. Okay, maybe I need to use the same material. Let me see, concrete structural. Where is it? Just search concrete structural. Didn't change because I think it's because it's the issue of scale. So if we had to change this to 1:200 or 1:20, yes, you see, it's an issue of the scale. So I'm not gonna be bothered with that. I'm gonna leave it this way. Okay, so let's place our apron so that we complete this section, this detail. So I'm gonna go back. So, and the apron, if you check on the list here, let me say apron. Okay, I don't think I need this. Let me just get rid of that. All right, so what we want here is we still have, I can see the arrow here. We need to cross check here. There's an arrow there. Hit on save. We've used, it's going to be used by using a slab, the beam and the wall too. So the best way is to use the opposite of that, or a separate or a different tool. If you use wall to wall, it's not gonna clear or butt nicely. It will create some bit of a glitch of material. So I'm going to use the beam to achieve this. So if I go here under design and change this to apron. All right, maybe start my apron from here. I'm gonna start it from there. Change the geometry to this chained method, then go over like that, even though I don't think you will have that. So even here we're having a slab, right? It will be something like this. So I'm gonna complete it to the hit continue. So I was placing it on the ground, so it has to be placed on the substructure. Okay, if we go back to our section, this is the correct position of our apron, but then we need to make it subtract or cut into our mesh. So what we need to do is either we select our mesh or mesh material, go to the element attributes to open the building materials, and make this the weakest. I know sometimes it doesn't solve that problem. You can make it 20. You can try this way. If it doesn't work, you have to do the solid element subtraction way. I'm gonna right click and bring the connect solid element operation. So this will be an operator, then the mesh will be the target. So I'm gonna just use a subtraction. Let's just use subtraction. Okay, so this will clear up and clean up our materials. Perfect. So we're gonna continue with the rest of the details and apply them accordingly with the sections, because but it's the same thing. So I hope you've learned one or two things. This one needs to be, I don't think I would have this one there. I'll create a separate layer for the apron. Let me create a layer for, I would say, paved apron. Okay, and then under the enlarged layer combination, I'm going to deactivate this because I don't want it to show here. I don't want it to show it on my foundation level. Paved apron, and assign it to that. Yes, it's going to be, but on the sections it has to show. It doesn't show because we are, let's see, which section is this? Section 5. I'm gonna open section 5 here. Then let's see and search for paved apron. Should be active on this detail section and elevation. Okay, so it's been placed. There we go. I don't know why this door is not sitting on 0. Should be 2.1. Yes. Okay, so pretty much that was it in terms of, okay, now the apron, there's a problem here. The apron needs to be at a height of it needs to be aligned with that. It should be sitting on top of this. Yes, something like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the outcome so far. This can change the pen sets to building a mark. Yeah. Okay, so I'll continue and do the rest of the details with the foundation. So I'm done with section 1. But before I move on to the other portion, the slab detail for the garage is different because we have a drop off here. So if I cut the section which is this one. If you open it, you would see the level should be different. Yes, you see the level of the garage is minus 100. Okay, it should be minus 100. So I'm going to select this, changes to our newly created where is it? Compacted media. This is the one. Yes, that will be the case. And we don't have, I didn't place the apron here. I don't know why. So if I to activate the apron temporarily, we have it. So let's go back to the section. This is section 1. I'm gonna open it from the view map. Yes. Yeah, I think this looks good. I'll later change the finish because the floor finish for the garage is different, so that one also needs to be checked. Maybe let me try put this in 3D. I'm gonna try put this in 3D and observe. Let's bring on our paved apron. We don't have our slabs. I wanted to bring also the paved apron. Alright, select that. I'm going to override this and override that. Yeah. So one thing that we need to do is to create a paving block, a paving bricks for this one. So yeah, I'll later, I haven't yet decided with what type of brick paving is this, or we should keep the concrete paving. So, and then here we're having this glitch of material, so I can just ungroup and have it straight instead of. Then we can have it straight here, like connected. Yeah. Yes, and then this area can be filled with soil or whatever. It can be a garden, it can be a planter or something. Okay, yeah, it will be pretty interesting if we can, if after completing all the details, because let me see. Yes, I want to move on to the other one, which is 2, detailed 2 or section 2. That will be for the inside. So I'm going to copy the material. And I can close off the solid element operation, then find our footing. I'm going to we have 2 footings. Why? We have this one and that one. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this one, right, just to take advantage of that. And this will be 2. This will be footing 2. Hit OK. and paste that 2D content here. I'm going to use the center of the screen just for then I can drag this away from the drawing. Click outside to complete. It's a bit laggy, I don't know why. It's because of this 2D materials. Okay, so from here what we need to do is basically, adding this on both sides. Yes, it's basically adding this mirror to the other side and have this on the same level. I don't think it's necessary to have this hotspot there. You can delete it there. What else again? Pretty much everything placed. I think I didn't pick this up because we have different materials here. I've used the same materials for the composite of the floor slab. You see, this one is different, and this is what this it says recompact to 90%, right? And then compact to 93. This is 95. So these are the difference with the layers, but it's basically the same thing. I don't think I should create a separate material for that just to represent this. It's just the same thing. It's only that, okay, this one I'll have to create a recompact material, and these two I'll leave it at the same material. So once you're done, I can delete this. Maybe not. Let me keep it just for referencing, future reference. So I'm gonna undo that. Well, it takes time. I don't know why it takes time to delete, undo. That's ArchiCAD for you. Sometimes it has this kind of issues here. I'm gonna save. Okay, so if we go to our foundation layout, what we need to do, we need to transfer that information to the relevant elements. So section 2 is pretty much for the internal foundations, right? Internal walls. So we have 2 here, we have 2 there, yes, and then this is 2 as well. Okay, let's do that. So that means I need to split this into 2, because split there, fillet that one, select this 2, fillet. This will be footing 2 as a result. Why? The result of blah 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 to be. I don't know why it's not showing. I don't know why it decided to. Okay, let's do it again on this one. I'm gonna split, fillet, then fillet on this one as well. Change this to 2. Oh, apparently there are a lot of elements that, yeah, you could see it's not the same thing. you see here it's not the same thing. I need to edit this. That's why the material ended up vanishing. So I need to delete, because pretty much it's made up of fill. So if it's this way, it has to show. Okay, let me change this to 2 and see. Okay, I've lost this one and I don't know how, but if you go to 3D, let me get rid of many views here that are not important for now. We've lost this one. Okay, no problem. I can just easily take this one, Control Shift D to carry a copy, then fillet. I'm gonna split as well this from here. Oh, oops. I didn't fillet. They didn't split, yes. Then do this. What's going on here? Are there tools here? There might be. Tools. Okay, maybe change this to 2. Okay, this needs to be splitted as well. Maybe let me see. Split this. Change this to 2. Intersect. This is 2, right? I don't know why these 2 are not cooperating. Oh, I suspected there is a problem. Oh, I'll cancel. Then chamfer those ones. Yes, and then this 2 should be representing 2. I'm gonna split again, intersect, turn this into 2, then intersect with this one. This also is 2, right? Yes. Then we have we can also confirm in 3D. We have this small. This one should be also 2. And I don't know why they're not sitting on the right position. I can pick parameters of that, then inject, so that they are in the same position. Okay, it looks pretty much. So even these ones, they are 2s. I can just transfer his. This is 2, 2. This needs to be splitted. This is 2, to 2, and I will have to split this one. Let's do it on the floor plan. I mean on the plan view. Split, intersect 2, re-intersect this one as well, then transfer. Oh, sorry. I don't know why it's not. Big parameters of this should be 2. Yes. Yeah, I think for the internal walls, everything has been sorted. Everything has been sorted. I believe so. So now my foundation layout looks a bit neater. Here we are should be having the same. This one is 4. Here we should be having 1. This should be foundation 1. I don't know why it's not. Let me confirm in 3D. This is the area wide. I'm gonna pick the parameters of this and inject it to, and then this. Okay, this needs to be mirrored because it's outside. Or maybe, does it need to be on the, I need to trim it somewhere here, because if you look at ground floor, we have a wall there. Yes, let's go back. So if I had to right click on the ground floor and show it as a trans reference, you'd see we have a wall here. So I will have to draw, oh sorry, change this just to a single placement method. Then we need to intersect these 2 and split this one to here, then re-intersect. Same to this one, re-intersect. I don't know why they're not intersecting perfectly here. What is the problem? Maybe this needs to be a mirror, or I can just use this one to turn it out. Then bring it back to the position to align with us. Let's re-intersect. Re-intersect with that one, and also this one. Perfect. Then this one needs to be on 2 as well. Perfect. Let's confirm this 3D. This is the area. Oh, wow. It gave me the entire 3D of the building. So I need to make you again and F5 because I'm interested on the foundation. We're having a bit of an issue here, but this is not a big problem because we are having a slab here that we need to revise. So if you go to ground, you'd see we have a slab somewhere here. Yes, that needs to be maybe outside, even this one outside. And that should fix that problem. Oh, this one needs to be also trimmed. I need to split. Okay, let's go to the layout, split. I need to split this one, re-intersect, so to this one. Then this changed to 2. Yes. Or what's going on here? This needs to be on the inside. That's the challenges that you would face when you are trying to, have your model in place, but you need to be very assertive in terms of how you want your model, in terms of the details to be like. So you'll have to be there and resolve all these issues. Okay, so yeah, pretty much everything is in place. We're left with one, which is this area there. It has a different detail as well. So we're going to, it's 2, isn't it? This is 4. Right, here is 4. So I'm going to copy this. 4 is basically, the difference is the slab, but it's 2 and we're having a different. So we're going to create a separate, this will be just a composite, I guess. If I want, I'll create steps. I don't think it's a problem. So I will have to use step 1, 4. 4. Yeah. So I can create a composite that will represent this, and then create a separate steps for here because it's a step. Then I can leave it as it's more or less the same with 1. The only difference is that it has, another slab. No, like 2. Let's make it 2, right? This will be 2 because we have I don't know why it didn't create the same, and the levels are extremely different here, but I wanted to have a seamless transition between or from the inside to the outside, especially the pool area. Because if you look at the model, let me right click and show all. So if you look at the model, from this space to this level, we should have a seamless. If it is a step, it should be 50, not that much. I think he felt lazy to interpret this area. So I'll stick to my design and then make him change to this, because he's still yet to prepare, more detail for construction as well. It's the same exercise that I'm doing. So hence, coordination is very important. Otherwise, this will be wrongly interpreted. Okay, so I can go around and check all the foundations being in place. We have also a separate detail for this wall here, for this foundation that we need to create as well. But to be honest, everything looks pretty much okay. So we can Control L and switch on our apron like that. We have apron, and then we have another layer of paving here. I don't know why he separated the apron and the paving. I don't know why, to be honest, because you can have just one level of paving and apron all the way. Okay, it's something that I will advise him also to look at, because I don't think I will change that. Okay, We're gonna continue with this area here for the garage because it have a slope there. So this is the one that we need to do. Okay, but this one, because of the slab, so we're gonna be this part and this. I don't know to which extent. Let me check on 3D, but I will need it to be here all the way to there. Is it something that needs to be, I think it would be just more like an apron. So I don't think I should create a footing for that. It's not a footing. All right. So basically, this is the foundation layout for the project. So it's really, it tallies with my drawing. He has this to go all the way. I don't know why I didn't do it. So if I right click and then show trace reference, you'd find which one shows trace reference. It doesn't show. We have a wall here that is, you know, in line with that one. Maybe I should take this one, Control Shift D, drag it over there, then sort it out like that. Yeah, I think it's too tight, so I'll leave it the way it is. Let's leave it the way it is. Okay, see on 3D. All right, that should complete our foundation layout. We'll have to create the sheet for this and then bring all the details there, especially for 3D. So I'll need to save this view as I need to save this view. Yeah, I need to create this view to incorporate it with my drawing. Right click, or maybe create as a section, not, yeah, from this section. F5, yeah, like this. Like that. Trying to find a perfect view. I want to show a bit of the cut and the layout. Right click, go to, I will create a folder for 3D documents, 3D views and documents, 3D views and documents, under section of construction. This is where I'll be storing my views. So this will be foundation, and create. So I'll right click to create a 3D document. I'll say new 3D document, set it as foundation. Okay, so I'm gonna save it as well here. Then foundation right. Perfect. So this will indicate those compaction material as well. So I have an opportunity also to show the paved apron. Yeah, something like that. Then I could redefine. Yes. Okay. So I have this. I need to also place the floor slab for the garage. But oh, sorry. Let's go back here. Control L and search for slab. I don't know why it's not showing. Okay, because we've pretty much switched everything off. If you right click, it will bring everything. But I wanted also to show the layer for. Let me see if I can do it here. Right click and show all the elements. I'm going to switch off everything, right? Let's switch off everything except the paved apron and the foundation. I don't know which one is this, but I'm gonna switch them off. Yeah. I don't know why these are under foundation. So this will also help, it will also help to organize your elements. You see, these are the elements that were misplaced. So this will be structural. I'll say structural bearing for now. This will be a planter. I'm gonna put it under shell or shear. Okay, and all these steel elements will be under structural bearing. Structural bearing, where is it? Yes. What about you? This should be glass or curtain or finished wall. Structural shear. This is finished wall. Here's my wall. Let me go back to my slab. I want to see the layer. It's floor slab, right? So let's go back here. And why is not showing? Show all. don't know why it's not showing, but yes, this way it will show. So I'm going to hide all the layers again, then show only the slab and paved apron and foundation. Should be fine. Okay, so this is that. So when it comes to, oh, I see. I wanted to transfer the floor slab to this one, but if you say right click and say slab, it doesn't show because the cut wasn't going across. It's a pity that we didn't have it here, but it's something that we can really see. Maybe make this to be on the level here, substructure. So let's see, let's go back. Yes, if you make it on the substructure level, then maybe you can say going up 0, maybe 300. Yes, it shouldn't pick the height, so I can position it correctly on the floor plane here. Saying this should be all the way it should be minus 100. I made it minus 100. I don't know why. Yes, something like that. So if you go back to, oh yeah, perfect. This is what I wanted to achieve. Yeah, and I can bring in my mesh as well. I don't know which layer is representing that, which is the site and landscape. ABC site and landscape, terrain and sea. Oh, it's not showing. I think it's the issue of the level as well. So if we select that, it's under site. So it's under site. If you say show on and 1 story down, right? And 1 story down. Maybe this will help. Yeah, perfect. So it worked pretty much the way I wanted, and these ones will have to, let me see, yeah, we'll need to clean up using solid element operation. So this will be the operator, then the mesh, target, execute. It should fix. Wow. I don't know why this one is not being fixed. Why we have different elements here. Okay, I see. Yeah, but that one is far because I have more for things there. Yeah, I think that was the idea. Once I've placed everything now, my detail will be Perfecto. So I can decide just to show only on here, because I don't need to show everything. I need to show everything on my detail, because I'm going to create, for example, under the layout book, let's create a folder for, we have construction already. What I need to do is to save all this information here, to create a layer. A1, this will be foundation layout, foundation layout, create. So, and bring all the details here. Takes a bit of a time. Perfect. So I'm gonna bring the foundation plane. Trim off that material. Set the scale to 1:100. I don't know why it's not on 1:100. Let me go back. Oh, 1:200. Okay, everything here is 1:20. Set it to 1:50. Okay. Still have a huge file. Maybe 1:75. Yes. And then you can bring in this detail. I want to have it only on this portion, so I can just trim off the elements like that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. This needs to represent the paving that I'm yet to decide on. I haven't decided, but it's not a big problem. I'll come and adjust the hatching. We need to have the hatch showing on the uncut elements. So, but currently it's pretty much what I wanted, and I'm going to also introduce the grid lines, because I don't have the grid lines on this one. So we'll have to provide grid lines to manage our elements. So this, I forgot to fix this once. Perfect. We're having other foundation or footing elements for this. We have a feature here, and then we have a column there. So if you check on 3D, the right click and show all in 3D. I'm gonna bring everything. Let's bring everything. Okay, what we have here is this column, right? We're having this column and also this feature column that we need to also to provide details for that. So I don't know why he made a circle. I want to have it round, but he made it a circle, which I understandably correct, because you can't dig a hole that is circular. It will save cost, but we can have it down as a square, and then the top part of it should be a finish, I mean a circular. So I need to provide a detail for that. So that will be basically saying, let's reference, and I don't think he picked that column correctly, because if you look at how it is, it's not a square column. Yes, it's more like this. I don't know if he picked it correctly. So it's something that needs to be coordinated as well. So it's square, and then also it has this round. I'm gonna select it to let it go all the way to substructure and to first floor, something like that, so that should be captured here, something like that. And then also let's go back to 3D. This one, I will have two of them, so Control Shift D, then this will be down maybe somewhere there, and turn this into, oh, it's a slab. Okay, it's a slab. Maybe make it 100, right? Then underneath, let's right click and show this as a trace reference. Underneath, what I'm going to do is to have a column here, a square column, right? He says should be 600 by 600. I'm gonna change this to 600 and place it right in the middle of that. So this should be from substructure to first floor. So let's see on 3D. I don't want it to be, I wanted to have a circular base. Maybe drop this minus, I'm not gonna link it. I'm gonna link it. Maybe isolate these two. Something like this. If it's possible, I would want to have it like that, so that the square base becomes hidden on the ground. So it's the detail that I need to provide the engineer with, so that to clarify even this column as well, because I don't think the foundation, the footing here, captured it well. We can also have the square one here. I've got no problem with that, but this one, it looks small. He says it should be 500 by 500. So I'm going to Control Shift D and place it there. Maybe make it this 500. So I'm gonna select this, isolate it. Okay, these two. I'm gonna select that one and make it on site, right? Then 0. Yes, because I want this column to start maybe from substructure to site, and get rid of this 200 offset. Yeah, something like this. This is because of the slab that is interfering with that, but other than that should be fine. So that can be fixed by going, yeah, it's these two slabs, but you can cut around it if you want, but it doesn't really make sense. So I can right click and show. Why it's not showing my columns here? This column needs to show. I want to something happened here. This was supposed to be on site, then shouldn't go all the way, supposed to be at first floor plan, like that. Okay, and I could see now the base is small. It doesn't, cater for the curve, for the circular curve. I need to I'll increase it here and make him understand that there's a bit of a problem with that he needs to fix or address. Oops, show all in 3D. Okay. So we have this base like that. Yeah, we have that base like, but yes, as long as the base doesn't show, yeah, yes, it's correctly represented. Okay, so from here I'll move on and create this detail. I'm going to continue and add more details and this layout should have multiple or series of details across all parts of the foundations. So we still have to create the ramp for the access to the garage. There are some number of situations that I need to address. So if you look at here, the connection is not really entirely correct. I saw some of the glitches here too that needs a bit of attention. So let's do that. I'm going to go back to the foundation layout view, and let's say if you look at the engineer's foundation layout, we have this double wall here. It's because, or mainly because, we have this wall, a structural wall that he's catering for. So I'm going to turn this into a 1154 and that will need no support from the foundation. So it will be internal wall, and this one I'm going to break it into two, set this as an internal wall. I will bring it, where is it that okay, here it is. Bring the reference line out from the outside, then I can move it right there, select the two and intersect. Okay, re-intersect this one too. Yes, to have a clean connection. So if you go back to your substructure, we will need no support for this wall. So it's something that I will have to share with the engineer for him to address if needs be. And then if we look at the 3D, okay, let me mark you only for this view. I'm gonna mark you F5 to isolate in 3D. So if you look at this wall, it goes all the way and it needs to be cut here so that we can introduce the double sided DPM wall. So I'm going to go to my foundation layout and take a split tool, split this into two. Also split this into two. I'm going to select this two and re-intersect. This is going to change to our just pick parameter for this and inject. Let's intersect it with this one. Perfect. So yeah, this is how it's supposed to be in 3D. That's correct. Okay, and then let's go ahead and place some of the details, right? So if you look at this area here, I don't know why this wall is not cleaning up, but if you stretch it this way, this is how I want it to be cleaned. The connection needs to be smooth, but there's this funny problem that is occurring. If you go back to 3D, you would see our DPM extend beyond. So this shouldn't be the case because you can't have a DPM cutting across your brickwork like that. Even on this situation we're having, even on this here, we're having the same situation. So it's mainly because maybe the strength, the interoperability strength, so the intersection priority strength for these two material, the DPM or the waterproofing is much stronger than the brickwork. So I'm going to select one of the wall, then go to element attributes to bring back our building materials. So let's examine the strength of these materials. So we currently have our concrete, which is here, all the compaction material. Let's scroll down and locate. Yes, we have, I don't know why we have different types of waterproofing used. We have this one, insulation waterproofing, then this as well. So this needs to be corrected. We need just one. And if you see this one, the strength is 949, which is stronger than our brickwork. This one is better because it's around 480. So let me see how strong our brick. It's 720. So I think I will have to go with this one here, 480. So this needs to be corrected. So I'm going to start and edit this to, we still have these gaps that needs to be, I don't know why is it like this. So this should be the same material, and I'm gonna use the one with less, this one, vapor. Okay, then save. Let's do it again from the footing. Fix this issue first. Okay, let's turn this to no, I want the vapor. Yes, then save. If you go back to the 3D, this now has been addressed. So basically that's how we wanted our element to be that way. If you go back to the layout, now we have our clean 2D drawing. Okay, perfect. I like it this way. Alright, that's basically how you address this situation of the strength of the materials. Alright, so I'm gonna continue and place. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what's happening here. That cuts the. What cuts the? Oh yeah, I remember what cuts the terrain is the apron. I used subtract with solid element operation to subtract it from here, so it has to be done across even the side it's appearing, but that is not a problem now. It can be fixed later. What we want to do is to place the slab now for every portion. So I'm going to pick the slab. Let's do it on the layout. I'm going to have a slab here. This slab should be at I think, let me open the section to position it. Is this the which side I was looking at? Should be this one. Let me see. Yes, should be the one. Yeah, the slab needs to be at 0, so at ground. Oh, this one is here. I'm looking for this slab, right? It has to be either on 0 linked to the ground, or I raise it by 300. Okay, let me do it manual. Right there. Perfect. I'll come and do the subtraction later from the mesh, because you can see there's an intersection or interaction of material that doesn't really help us graphically to represent this correctly. So I'll do it later. Let me go back to the 2D, pick parameters of the slab, because it's the same level with the other areas, the other rooms. We have this area here. You can magic wand and try to apply the slab once like that. Let's select the slab. Then I'm going to offset all edges right all the way to the wall side, but there will be areas like this that needs to be fixed. I think one of the areas is this one. We've got another one here. Then we should be good to go. And then we can subtract if we want for this one, but I can use subtraction with, I can use solid element to cut our wall, because if we look out on 3D, this wall will be affected. All right, we'll come later to the finish, because the finish is not concrete. So we have the composite that should be representing the finish. I don't know why it's not showing the finish. Maybe it's because we've override the, yes, we override the surfaces. So let's get rid of the surfaces to depend on the composite material. That should sort out the problem. Okay, pretty good stuff. Let's pick the parameters and continue to place the slab to other areas. We have it here. Okay, you have that portion as well. We have this living room. Okay, I think I need to address also the surface for our garage slab, and I will have to set up a different composition for the slab, for the garage slab, because the finish is different. Let's say right click, edit selected composite. I'm going to duplicate this one and say garage floor. Then I'm not gonna use the tile. I will use, for the floor finish, I will use maybe plastic epoxy, something like this. Yes, let's go for something different. And let's assign it the newly created. Yes, perfect. So even if it's not a final finish, I have to differentiate it from the main flow. I can later decide what material to finish my garage. Okay, pretty much stuff. So let's focus on now detailing the ramp here, because it's part of the foundation layer, the ramp for the garage. So if you look at the structural drawings, this is the one for the garage. We have a little ramp here that is around roughly 3 meter 750 millimeters. So we are going to, I think the foundation will be the same. The only change is here, we're having a kink here for the slab. So to address that, I'll have to create a profile. Let me copy this content. Okay, and I'm gonna come here. You know what I'll do, because if you look at on the floor plan, the ramp will start right on the garage, what do you call, garage access, or maybe on the side is where it's been represented. Let's select everything. Let's switch on everything from our layers. Yes, this is where the ramp is. Okay, this is where the ramp is. So in order for me to achieve let's go back. In order for me to achieve this kink, I'll have to create a profile. So I'm gonna come here, duplicate this profile, footing, let me say ramp, garage ramp, then hit OK. I'm gonna paste the content I copied from the structural drawings. It takes a toll. I don't know why it takes a bit of time to just paste the information. Let's use the center of the screen. I'm gonna just drag it relatively close to the footing or the ramp elements. So technically, this information that we're adding to our project is basically gonna be part of the template. So at the end of this process of creating construction drawing for this project, I'm gonna share the final project model in order for you to have this as your library, and also it will be part of the template. So basically, I'm modifying the template further to add more details. So yeah, be sure to check the link on the description to get the template. So I'm gonna only give this project with the template that is going to be updated at the end of this process to only people who have the template. So if you don't have the template, get it now so that you stand a chance to be. I'll send you the link to download the final project. So yeah, check the link like I said. So I'm going to resize this to 350 like that. Okay, so what I need is to add this part. I'm gonna use concrete. I'm gonna pick that concrete, then use the polygonal geometry method and trace over that like so. Okay, we have this concrete as well. Like that. This will be our waterproofing membrane. I don't know, it ends up to here. And turn this to waterproof. We've used which one earlier on? This one. Okay, correct. So from here we'll have to add the layers of our compaction. This can be achieved by taking it from this one. I'm going to trace over all the way to here. Because we will have, this one will be a composite from a slab 2 to join these two. Like that. And this should be a different hatch. Remember, I've created different materials to have different representation like that. Even though I still feel the what you call the hatching is too dense, we need to change the scale, but I can do it later. I'm not worried about and this angle, remember, I don't think is that accurate, so it's something that we need to work it out and see and get the accurate angle. But I can do it later once I'm done with overall assembly of the elements. This is the big fill. We have the big fill, right? The big fill have to go all the way. Okay, let me just put it here. Can fix this, change this to material 1. here, and then this will be a composite, right? We have our composite there. So what I need to do now is to transfer this, or take this material to our footing. Let me select, if possible. It's going to be there. Okay. The scale needs to be is in the incorrect scale. So if you look at here, it appears to be big. So I'm going to scale it down. Control K, hit OK. This should be, I'm going to do it from this corner. This should be our 230. Should be the size of a brick like that. Perfect. Let me drag this outside. I'm gonna have a hotspot here. Okay, from here, this wall needs to go down to that one. And then I'm going to move the hotspot to be there. Then what else again? I think this will be the space for this compaction material, or compacted material. All right, so I think everything now looks okay here. We need to fix this. Okay, so let's save this and try to apply it. So the reason why it's being like this on the preview window is because of we have fields here. This is a field. So what we need to do is to erase everything of our content. Okay, then save. This will be updated. Perfect. It looks pretty much the detail we are looking for. And then if you go back to our foundation layout, so we need to break this wall into parts. I'm gonna split it. Let's activate the split and split it here and also there, because let's reference our site. What's going on with the site? Is this our site? Control L, select everything. I don't know why other things are not showing, so I'm going to show off all. And this driveway is site landscape. So when we use site landscape under detailed floor plan, should be active. What's going on here? Site update and annotations as well. Okay, so that when we reference it from the floor foundation level, we can determine exactly where this wall needs to be. So this wall needs to be right here. this side it should be all the way to here. I don't think it makes sense. We might as well delete it and chamfer or intersect this. Right, we need to now turn this into our apply this what you call garage ramp. The ramp should be on the opposite side, and then we can't have it in both. So what you need to do is to duplicate this and say footing. This is going to be footing 3. Okay, under footing 3 we're going to get rid of this material. I'm gonna move this to there and save. Then let's bring in or open the ramp. Also, I'm gonna get rid of the footing. I think we have some. Oops. Yes. Then save. Okay, so I'm gonna go back, change this to footing 3, and activate your beam tool, set it to ramp, and the ramp will be from here to there. Right click, hit OK. So I need to cut a section here to make sure everything is in the correct position. Yes, this is the this is foundation 3, and it should be underneath our slab. Okay, I was looking for this element. Bring it here, something like that. Okay, yes, it has to be in line with our wall. Then this one needs to be right underneath our concrete, something like that. So that's basically the ramp. I don't know if you look at the mesh, it needs to be, because the side level is around minus 300. Then this also. So this also tests the design of the structural engineer if he was following the accurate levels, because if you look at the slope, it doesn't address the levels here, because I've dropped the garage by 100. It's a step down from the ground floor finish level, which is 0 by 100 millimeters, and then this slope doesn't really address that. So this is something that he needs to address. So I don't know, for me, I would have a ramp that will go from here all the way to there. So I'll take it as that. So I'm gonna update this. Let me pick the line. This will be the gradient. Let's just show. So this is my design initially, how I created the ramp. So it's gonna be from there to the floor finish. So I'm gonna copy this line to address the level, the slope of our ramp. So I'm gonna paste this here and position it from right there. So basically this will be our concrete and compaction that needs to be done. So the best thing is to rotate. I'm going to rotate this. Control E, rotate this to align. Or let's take this to this point. Because I will try to replicate what is the idea here of supporting this. And then I don't know if you rotate this, would it make sense? No, it doesn't make sense on this edge, but it's something that can be fixed. So I can move this down a bit, then get this 90 degree. Is it straight? No, I don't think it's straight. Something like that. And maybe, okay, this should be also straight. Push it by 50. Something like that. Something like this. Okay. So I will need to take advantage of the concrete already, then manipulate it to get everything. Let's say this should be straight. Yes, and let's get rid of the line. Then I'm going to measure first. This is 10. I'm going to offset the edge. Control to add a copy. Then 10. Select this one. Subtract. Use the internal slab. And I can pick parameters of this. Transfer to that one. At the top there, I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to cut it out like that, then make sure it's in the same level with okay, this side needs to be yeah, and my slab needs to be here. That perfect. This can go, and let's move on to I believe this is 150. Yes, it's 150. I'm going to offset 150. pick parameters, apply to that, pick this and subtract. Yes, then you can okay, and then get rid of the unwanted materials. From this side as well. Delete. Like so. Alright, so I've managed to manipulate the slab, and then I'll continue do the same thing with the remaining layers. So it will be 150, a copy of that, then subtract, get rid of the material, delete, adjust the ends, and lastly magic one to subtract, get rid of this material, delete. Okay, so I will now pick the parameters of the bottom one, apply it to that one because I want to maintain the graphic style. Okay, so I don't know why the lines are thick. Undo. I can get rid of this material now. I'm not sure where the okay, there's something weird here because the outline of this elements shows it's pen 101, which is kind of gray, and I don't know why this one looks black. It's the wrong representation, so I'm gonna try to change to something different. Apply changes, get it back to 101. Yes, it worked. Okay, so we pretty much have everything. So this is how I'd want the driveway and the ramp to be. Just a gentle ramp from the garage access to the entrance of the plot. So I'm gonna save this and come back. This will be applied across. So if we check on our section of open the elevation, yes, this is the correct way of doing it, and we still have let's check on 3D. This is basically, we still have this mesh that I represented the driveway initially to the design. I'm going to delete it, this ramp now, let's go to the settings and not override the surfaces. Okay, so this will be the results. Perfect. I'm gonna go back to the section. We still have this. I'm gonna get rid of that. These boxes were meant to represent because I didn't want the paving to be full concrete, so I wanted to have some patches of grass in my concrete. So I think this also needs to be captured and represented well in the drawing, in the ramp. So maybe start it, I don't know how best can I represent this, because if you look at let's bring it up a bit so that you see what I'm trying to. We had this initially. This should be the patches of our grass, and the only way to achieve this during construction is to, when we're casting concrete, we need to make provision of this hole so that we can fill in with soil and grass. How do I now transfer this information to our newly created ramp? So I will have to create a separate, or a series of elements, separate elements here to represent my, I'm gonna use a slab. I'm gonna fill in the space, fill in that one, that hole. Oh, sorry. Just like that. And then select all this. And group them, Control G. Then I can get away with that. Okay, but let me undo. So this is the kind of paving that I went with initially. So we need to apply it to our concrete before we get rid of this. So let me confirm the surface we've used. This is pavement concrete 2. So in our ramp, this needs to represent that. So I'm going to override the surface for this here to be concrete 2. Is it concrete? I went with which one here? I think it's this one. Let me save or try it out. No, it's not the one. It's not the one. Which one did I use? Let me try 3. groups. I've lost the surface I've used. I think I might well go for concrete. Yeah, I think it's paving concrete 1, if I'm not mistaken. Should be the one. Perfect. All right, so like we've grouped these elements, right? I'm gonna unsuspend groups, then turn this not to just a basic, not a composite, and set this to a soil or grass. Let me say earth. Let's go for soil. Then we can make the surface grass. Yeah, something like that. And this needs to be embedded to our ramp. There are 2 ways of doing that. We can select or bring in the solid element operation and make these our target, right? Then the ramp should be the operator, and then I'm going to intersect these 2 like that and select the grass as an operator. Again, this to be a target, then subtraction with upward extrusion. The reason why it doesn't show here is because of the strength of concrete related to the soil. So, but this can be changed. So if we change this to a different material, let me say concrete, you would see I'll say reinforced structural, you see it's showing. Okay, but let's change. Yes, the surfaces will be grass. Let's leave it this way. Perfect. I think I'm pretty much happy with the result, even though I feel it's deep. Yeah, it's deep. Deep, but I can try to correct it by making this an operator and our grass as a target, then change the operation to subtraction with downward extrusion. Let's convert this into a morph. This will be the target, operator, execute, convert again to morph. Yes, so that we can have this resting right on the surface of our element, and then we can drop it a little bit by maybe make it 5 or 0. And make it as an operator. Target, change the operation to subtract with upward extrusion, then subtract. I think it's still too deep. We need to make it 5. Oh. Okay, make it 20 then. This needs to be, because I want to reduce the size of the hole. Let me undo. I'm not winning with this one, but I will have to win. The other way is to use no, this can't work. That can't work. I'll have to stick with this methodology because make it 35 or 50. If I could select this separately, that would be great. Perfect. So I can select it separately, and then let's go to the section and align this manually. So instead of having this going all the way, we would make it somewhere here. Or before, because it needs to also align with the slope or the gradient of the ramp. So I'm going to do it manually like that. This one is fine. Yeah, that one is fine. Okay. You know what I could have done? I could have let me draw a polyline so that I can have an offset to guide that. So let's offset this. We want a depth of maybe let's say 30. So this will be our guide to move this element up like that. Let me know in the comment section how will you address this situation. Do you have a magic wand tool that could address this problem holistically or at once? It's a feature to the garage, so I need to take a bit of time and detail this, because at site they will need sufficient information to execute the construction of this. So I'll have to make it work here on the model, then later share this. I will also share this information to the structural engineer to update his calculations and analysis for the ramp. Okay, so from here what I need to do is to select all this and make it a target, then the ramp will be the operator with upward extrusion. Before we do that, we need to get rid of the operation first. Okay, and then take this as an operator. I don't think upward extrusion will work, so we'll need an intersection of these two. Let's execute. If you convert this into a morph, yes, we should have this intersection. Okay, then this will act as an operator now to create holes to our ramp. So ramp will be the target, subtraction with upward extrusion. Yes, now we have a clean cut holes along the ramp slope. What is this? Yes, if you check on 3D, this is now placed accordingly. Alright, it's embedded on our ramp, which is a perfect thing that we wanted to achieve. Great, so it's captured both in 3D and then also represented well on our section. So we're having an issue here with this. We need to have it straight. I'm going to suspend the groups, hit edit, let's make this straight. Save. If we go back to the section, we're left with just a piece, 6 millimeters. Then save. Also, while we're fixing this one, I think we need to also to check here. So it's either I use a slab to subtract this or have it that way. So I can just quickly say make this as a target, then our ramp as operator with upward extrusion. No, it didn't work. It didn't work. So I'll have to draw a line, then a reference. Take these two, copy, edit the profile, paste it here. The center. I'm going to use this reference line to position that so that I slope. No, it's not the one. It should be on the other side. I nearly made a mistake, so I'm going to mirror it to mirror it that side. Save. You can delete delete the lines. Should be now. Yes, if you delete the line, it's well represented. So don't worry with the interference of the mesh. This can be also addressed. I can go to the substructure and select all the footings. Let's select all the footings, make them an operator, go back to the section, and let's select the mesh. It's going to be the target. I want to subtract. Let's just use subtraction. Okay, and also it should be a target. I want to subtract it from the ramp with upward extrusion, something like that. Now we have a clean connection between our ramp, our footing, floor slab. The transition from the two levels is immaculate. So we have an issue also here for this. We also need to subtract the floor slabs from the, I can do it also here from the mesh. Let's select all the slabs, add them as, no, I'm gonna get rid of this one. This one is not supposed to be part of the operation. Okay, make this an operator, go back to our section to access the mesh, get it as a target. We're gonna use subtract with upward extrusion as well so that it gets cleaned. Perfect. I'm impressed with the results so far. Yeah, so I need to have this as a detail on the layout as well. So I might this will be the section. I can use this section to have that. All right, this will be the garage door. So I need a detail as well for the garage door. It's a complex garage door detail, so I will have to spend a little time as well to craft that. This is section 2. So I'm gonna go to the foundation layout and place the section 2 somewhere here to be part of the let's find section 2. I think I need to create sections for, I don't have sections for the construction. Let me clone the sections that we have already. I'm gonna clone, where are the sections, right? And then I'll say custom, then construction sections, clone. All right, so I have it here. I don't know, it should be under here. Yes. So I want section 2 to be part of this layout because it carries the ramp details. Well, I think I need to make some adjustment in terms of this view settings. So the model view layout will be combination should be enlarged floor plans, scale 1:50 or 1:20. Let's make it 1:20 because that detail needs to be. And then MSB millimeters should be set to go. Oh, renovation filters. Go back. Renovation filters. Where is it? This is new construction. What's going on here? Something. Let's reference with the others. No override, yes. There should be no override here. Building plans. Yeah, I think because of the override, that's what makes it what's going on with this section? Okay, I think this is I need to confirm first. Whoa, I see where the problem is. Show all elements, yes. The issue is under show all elements. Entire model. Show all elements. Yes, now we're having a clean drawing. Okay, so if you go back to the layout, this information should be updated. Perfect. So I'm going to trim off the unwanted materials. Because it's a ramp that I'm interested in, I'm going to just trim it off like that. Okay. I'm gonna drag it. You know, I could have used a detail tool. You know what the problem with the detail tool is? A 2D. You're converting this into a 2D material. Unless you are set, you're certain with the, you never change. But in this case, I'm not sure how the engineer will interpret this. He might be, or he might have a different way of doing this, which is a better alternative to what I've proposed here. So I'll keep it as a live section because I can come back and modify this and update my drawings. I'm using a 2D detail that will be a rework again. So I prefer to have it this way. So this one I'm gonna stretch it and place it somewhere there. I'm gonna try fit. Let's try to maximize this space. This one we don't need to for it to go all the way like that. We can just have it there. Yes, and we can still trim it off again and push it to the side like that. Perfect. So this is pretty much the, I will have to rename this to be a ramp detail. Maybe go back to the section. Where is it? Section 2. I'll say ramp. Ramp section, so that this information will be captured here. Okay, so they are pretty much many or series of drawings that we can place here, but with the little that we've covered so far, I think I would want to end this video here. I could add more, but unfortunately I don't want to have this video to take hours and hours for you to follow through. What we've been doing exactly is something that you can replicate to other portions of your structure, and trying to get everything into details. If there's a need for me to create a video separately or specifically for a task that you feel I just overlooked or ran through it without dwelling much on the details, let me know in the comment section so that I can recreate that video that will be addressing the issue exactly how it's supposed to be done, in-depth tutorial. But with that being said, I'll have to thank you for your attention, and I'll see you in the next series. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video to those who feel will be beneficial. Thank you. Check the all the resources that have been used for this template in our Patreon platform. The link is also in the description. I will also link the next video at the top right corner for this series. Up until now, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.